This is the Angels Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast, coming at you live, as always, directly, even on a 10 a.m. first pitch, directly after the game, right here on the Locked On Angels YouTube channel, and after the fact, both on the channel and wherever you get the Locked On Angels audio podcast feed. If you don't know who I am, what the heck is going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credentialed journalist in the LA area, spent 4 years writing articles, conducting interviews, sitting in press boxes in LA, in the Bay Area, in the Pacific Northwest, across the country, until midnight, many nights. I earned my role here, despite what some people say. And I'm now in year 2 with the Locked On Podcast Network, where it is your team every day. Our team is the gosh darn Los Angeles Angels, who are 8-4. And who absolutely crushed the Tampa Bay Rays today, 11-1 in the rubber match. We saw yesterday's game and how insanely frustrating it was that the Rays had 2 good swings where they hit the ball 327 feet, and somehow that gave them 4 runs. Meanwhile, we have 4 home runs. They're all solo shots, and we lose the game. And the question was, coming into a rubber match, to win the series, to make it 4 series, 4-0 in those series in terms of winning them outright, how would this team respond? Would they have a couple more base hits and maybe create a couple other runs in addition to having a solo shot or 2? Would they not do anything and fold and maybe start a skid or something like that? But they said, screw it. We are pissed off about this little Yankee Stadium style minor league stadium where you hit fake home runs and got fake RBIs, and we're just going to go out and hit 6. Taylor Ward with 2, Mike Trout with 2, Jo Adell with 2, and in addition to that, getting it done on the bases, right? Only 1 walk, but hits everywhere. Logan O'Hoppe, 3 hits without the home run. And the Angels put up 14 hits, 11 runs, and oh yeah, by the way, their starter, Jose Soriano, yeah, he was fantastic. In case people got worried after 1 start, he was fantastic, just like we know he is. A perfect performance. And once again, the takeaway is the response, the resilience of this team. This is a serious team. And yes, there's context that needs to be added to everything, whether it's the opponent they played today and in this series, whether it's that it's still early, whether it's that this team is having a home run streak that surely can't be sustainable, right? All of that context needs to be applied. But at the end of the day, with all that context, you're looking at a team who for years has been known for folding in tough moments. That's why they're not clutch. That's why they don't make it to the playoffs. And instead of folding in tough moments, they're not only changing the narrative in terms of being average in tough moments, whether it's coming off a loss, coming off a rough inning, coming off an injury. They're not just becoming an average team at that, and then they're 6-6. They are, it's safe to say at this point, they are above average when it comes to responding to losses, responding to tough innings, responding to having runners on third base with nobody out and trying to get out of the inning like they did 2 days ago, responding to injuries, guys leaving the lineup, Zach Neto not even here yet, right? So, of course, the big takeaway when you see a game like this is we can hit a lot of freaking home runs. And Jose Soriano is really good. But the grand scheme of things, the larger takeaway, and why you can get excited about the Angels in 2025, and I'm not saying guaranteed playoff spot, I'm not saying we're making a push or anything like that, we're going to win the AL West, but you can get excited knowing that at the very least, we have a young core, and we have a changing culture. A changing culture where we're not going to choke, where we're not going to back down. We are going to respond and be resilient. And today, absolutely explode after a frustrating loss. But with all that being said, shout out to everybody in here, right? I always need to make sure that I say that. The fact that it's 12:48 p.m., I believe. Yes, 12:48 p.m. And everyone, including myself, most people are at work, or if you're in school, you're, going between classes and having a break. And yet there's over 110 people in here. So shout out to everybody in here. Again, I'm well aware that I'm fortunate where I have a job where I'm able to conveniently bring my podcasting equipment. I'm going to post it on Twitter for those following me so they can see how ridiculous it is. It's literally a little telephone booth, and I bring a mic and a camera and my laptop and a bunch of cords and adapters and everything. But I'm well aware that I'm lucky that I can do this and take a break, my lunch break. I only get an hour, but I can strategically put it to where I can do this show for you. So I'm well aware that I'm grateful for that, but also I do hope you guys appreciate that I do that. And I certainly appreciate that you guys, whether you're on your lunch break or you're on your drive home from the game when it's a night game or anything like that, you take the time to come out. I will say thank you every single time. And as always, I will shamelessly say, hit the like button, leave a comment, all of that good stuff. But with all that being said, in case you somehow missed this game, or in case you need a quick summary, the Angels had a great start to this game. And the first two games of the series, they didn't. They fell behind 1-0 in both of them. Fortunately, in one of them, they turned things around, turned it into a crazy game and won. In this one, they fell behind, or yesterday's, they fell behind 4-0 via the grand slam. But today, Taylor Ward, he wasted no time. And it's so ironic. All this debate about whether or not he should be the leadoff hitter. He's struggling in terms of average. Kyron Paris doing what he's doing. And yet, Taylor Ward, on the second pitch of the ball game, takes a sinker right down the middle, and he hits a home run. He hits it to right field, instantly saying, dang it, we're going to take advantage of this stupid little short porch in right field. I'm still not going to hit it 327, unlike you guys yesterday, Yandy Diaz and Jose Caballero. I'm going to hit it 352 feet. It's still not a bomb or anything like that, but it's 1-0 instantly. Soriano, solid first inning, gives up one hit, but other than that, he's okay. And then what do the Angels do in the second? They don't use the home run ball. How about back-to-back doubles? Logan O'Hoppe and Nolan Schanuel. Schanuel, a guy who, as much as we criticize where he's in the lineup sometimes he's second. Today, he's not. Today, he moves him down to sixth, he being Ron Washington, and he still gets it done there with a big-time RBI double, hits in Logan O'Hoppe, and it's 2-0 Angels. And from there, it's very rare that the Angels have a start, at least last year. This year, it's becoming a little more common, but still, I always say, as an Angels starting pitcher, it's very rare that you go out there and you have a lead to pitch with. It's always you're down. It's always you give up one run, and then you're down the whole game, and you know that I can't give up any more. I'm surely getting the loss, right? Or there's games where guys literally wouldn't give up a run through 5 innings, but it'd be 0-0, and you're still pitching there knowing I make one mistake, and I'm going to get the loss on my record. How nice that Jose Soriano, and it's interesting, a guy like TFL in here saying, not that one, although shout out to you, but TFL says, oh, click the wrong one again. My bad. TFL here says Soriano didn't even look like himself today and was solid. Part of that is you're up 2-0, right? You're up 2-0. And so you can have a single in the bottom of the first. You can give up a 1-out walk in the bottom of the second, right? But you're okay. You're up 2-0. You have a 1-2-3 bottom of the third. You have a bottom of the fourth where there's a lot of adversity. Leadoff double, then a single. Obviously, that makes it 2-1. But still, you respond, you strike out Morel, you get a double play, and you're still leading the game despite giving up a run. And then it's almost like that bottom of the fourth inning was cliffhanger. What was that bottom of the fourth inning? As you give me a second to actually do it.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
I truly think that was the turning point, the bottom of the fourth. And obviously it leads into the huge fifth that we will talk about. But it's the fact that for once, our starting pitcher had a lead in that he can give up a double, or he can give up a run, but he gets out of it with a double play, and he still has the lead. And he does his job in facing adversity and getting out of it. And then the explosion starts in the top of the fifth. Jo Adell, with one of the best innings you'll ever see, he hits a leadoff home run, and it was a real one, 408 feet. On the first pitch, a hanging slider. He crushes it, 107.5 exit velo. He gets the party started, and boy, what a party it was. Tim Anderson singles, then Taylor Ward hits his second home run of the game, a real one, 413 feet. Again, not this 327-foot bull crud. Rengifo singles. This is all still with no outs. And then Mike Trout, who's gotten all sorts of criticism because, okay, I'm sorry, with a clutch situation, you're down a run, you need him to come through in the bottom of the ninth or the top of the ninth yesterday. He didn't do it. Suddenly, he's the worst player in baseball history, according to some. He's quietly still having a solid start in terms of power and RBIs, and he kept it going here with a 2-run home run, a sinker on the outside corner. He got a cheesy one, 320 feet, but darn it, we'll take it. We deserve it after yesterday's loss. Before and out, you have 3 home runs, and you turn a 2-1 ball game. That thank you, Jose Soriano. It's 2-1 and not 2-2 or 2-3 or something like that. And it just like that, it's 7-1. So they bring in a reliever, and at that point, I'm thinking, okay, the bases are empty. They bring in a reliever. Jorge Soler strikes out. What a heck of an inning it was. We'll go in to the rest of the game with that 7-1 lead. But no! Logan O'Hoppe with a 1-out single. Shanuel grounds out. O'Hoppe gets to second. Kyron reaches on catcher interference. And then you're like, wait a second, is there still something here? And then Jo Adell completes, again, one of the best individual innings you will ever see with his second home run. Somehow he hit this one harder, 108.6 exit velo, 382 feet. And that's why, despite 2 homer performances from both Ward and Trout, it's Jo Adell.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Someone said it in the comment section. Real hard to pick a player of the game in this one. Obviously, Trout deserves his flowers. He hits 2 home runs. Taylor Ward deserves his flowers. He starts off the party with the leadoff home run in the first inning. Soriano goes 7 2/3, gives up 1 earned run. He easily could have been the player of the game. But to hit 2 home runs in the same inning, to lead off the party with a home run, and then finish the party with a 3-run shot, 4 RBIs in 1 inning, on 2 separate swings, on 2 separate home runs. Gosh darn it, Jo Adell, you are the player of the game. It caps off an 8-run 5th inning. 8-run 5th inning. And so when you hit so many home runs like this team has done all season, there's going to be games like yesterday where you have 4 home runs and you only get 4 runs out of it, and you think you got screwed. And I've got certain people saying, oh, this team, they can't rely on the home run ball. That's what happens when you rely on the home run ball. Dang it, if you hit 4 home runs in a game, you should win the game, all right? And they proved it today by hitting 6 and absolutely crushing the Tampa Bay Rays. So how can you not be fired up after this? I mean, I'm already 13 minutes into the show. I've already covered 10 runs. I've already covered 6 home runs, and I still haven't even gotten to the 5th inning. That's how great of a performance it was. Innings 1 through the top of the 5 for our Los Angeles Angels. After I take my break here, we'll talk about how this game ended in terms of Soriano continuing to be stellar. We'll talk about the fact that the Angels have won another series and what it means going forward, because I'm not ready to say playoff team yet, but you have to say this team is passing every check or checking every box so far in 2025. We'll continue the discussion after our break here on the Locked On Angels Postcast. Now, today's show is brought to you by Just Ingredients. When it comes to fueling your body, quality matters. Amen. And that's why Just Ingredients is changing the game with clean, high-quality products designed to support better health and peak performance. Just Ingredients offers an NSF-certified line of protein powder, electrolytes, pre-workout, and creatine, all rigorously tested to ensure they're free from substances banned by major athletic organizations. Just Ingredients has also partnered with 2-time MVP Bryce Harper, who trusts their NSF-certified sports line to fuel his training and recovery. Again, for those who don't know, every single morning I wake up at 5:30 in the morning. I go to the gym by 6 a.m. and by 6 a.m. I've already consumed Just Ingredients' protein powder, electrolytes, pre-workout, and creatine. I'm not even lying. I have a shake that I drink at 5:45 in the morning because I don't really want to eat solid foods that early. My body's not accustomed to that, but it literally has protein powder in it. It has electrolytes. It has pre-workout before the workout and creatine all in that shake. So right there, I love that I know the ingredients are clean. It's transparent. I know what I'm taking, and it certainly fuels my performance both before the gym and after. So visit justingredients.us and use code LOCKEDONMLB for 20% off. And for more wellness tips, follow at just.ingredients on Instagram. That's just locked.ingredients on Instagram to learn more there as well. Again, Locked On MLB is the code for 20% off. And today's show is also brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are almost here, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Now, full transparency, I work for the NBA. I am not allowed to bet on the NBA. I do not bet on the NBA, keeping that very clear. But when I do occasionally engage, or when I did, before joining this team, engage in sports betting with other sports, the NFL, the MLB, anything like that, I loved how FanDuel made the experience so easy. I know that their app is amazing. I used it when I was in New York, when it was legal there. So if you're not in California, if you can use FanDuel, surely I recommend it. And make sure you head to FanDuel.com to claim your $250 in bonus bets today. Back here live on the Locked On Angels Postcast. Angels with an 11-win masterful performance. Absolutely amazing. And like Goofy Goober Sama, I guess it is, says, I don't know what the name means, but I sure love what he comments here. Soriano deserves his flowers. We cannot forget to praise Jose Soriano today. And despite talking about the 6 home runs, 2 from Adell, 2 from Ward, 2 from Trout, we cannot forget about what Soriano did today. The fact that after a start, in his last start that wasn't his best, he's able to respond. Again, I don't think there's words I use more on this show than respond or response, resilience, anything like that, because I love seeing that from any of my favorite sports teams, any of my players, anything like that I root for, but especially the Angels, because that's not what they've been known for in years past at all. And so for Soriano, just like everyone else on this team, to bounce back from what he did in his most recent start, where he doesn't have his best performance, he only goes 5 1/3 innings, gives up 5 hits, gives up 5 runs, gives up 2 home runs, has 3 walks, takes the loss against the Guardians, for him to respond with a stellar performance, right? 5 hits. He does have the 3 walks, which is a little concerning. We didn't see that very often from him last year. But still, at the end of the day, the guy gave up 1 darn run, didn't give up a big fly, and was pretty darn stellar when he didn't even have to be, right? 7 2/3 innings. So Jose Soriano certainly deserves his flowers, like everyone is saying. I love how TFL says, times like this, we need players of the game, right? Soriano, Ward, Trout, Adell, all of them. I gave it to Adell. Kilo in here saying, wait for Zach Neto. Feels like we are waiting for Goku to come back. I love it, right? This team has so much potential knowing that he is going to come back. Shout out to Levi in here who says, I'm watching this on my lunch break in my UPS truck. Thanks for taking time out of your lunch to make content for us. Thank you for taking time out of your lunch to watch. Certainly appreciate it. Want this to be the place where everyone can hang out, whether it's the middle of the day like today or at 10 p.m. Absolutely love all of the support. Break Less, who I remember from last year, saying, I was wondering why I hadn't seen the postcast lately. It moved to this channel. Happy to find it again. Let's go, Angels. Certainly missed you, Break Less. Glad you're able to find us. And yes, welcome back. And like Joseph says here, looking forward for this team. Bring on the AL West. Let's start to put some distance between us and them early. And that's where we're going to end today's show, talking about the road ahead. Because obviously, in the middle now of a 9-game road trip, I said coming into it, the goal had to be to go 5-4. If you can start the year like they did at 6-3, if I remember correctly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's right. You started 6-3 coming into the road trip here. Coming into the 9-game road trip, if you could go 5-4, if you could be 11-7 after your first 18 games, 15 of which were on the road. Let's remember, we've only had 3 home games all season so far. And if you could be 11-7 after that stretch, absolutely, that would be a W. Well, they are on pace for that. 8-4, and you've got 6 huge games that are going to teach us a lot about this team, right? The fact that they're doing it again away from home is so impressive. And now is when you can finally, with these upcoming 6 games, really decipher just how serious this team is. And I'm not saying that to say if we go 4-2, it's time to start saying World Series. And I'm not saying that to say if we go 1-5, it's time to start saying it's all a fluke. But if this team in these 6 games, 3 against the Astros, day off, and then 3 against the Rangers, if you can go, 3-3 and be in every game and win games in different ways, being resilient like you have been, and you're 11-7, you held your own against the AL West, certainly you have to say this is a team that at the very least, looks like they can make it to the All-Star break or the trade deadline at 500 or over it and be a team that can play meaningful baseball in the late months of the regular season and see if they can make that, that coveted playoff berth that we haven't had, obviously, in so long. If this team goes 5-1, certainly you're serious. But if they go 1-5, there's going to be questions asked, of course. But then there's still opportunities to prove yourself. Then after that, you have a homestand against the Giants. Big opportunity against a team that's been playing really well. Trust me, I know plenty about that as someone who grew up in the Bay Area. That's my second team. I'm going to be transparent in that I still root for my Giants a little bit, but certainly not like the Angels. And then you get Pittsburgh, certainly a winnable series after that. But for now, 6 games against those darn Texas teams. Someone says beat the Titas. Those hats were hilarious. I mean, I guess us Angels fans can't be talking. But like Luis says here, the Astros aren't playing their best baseball right now. Certainly an opportunity to go 2-1. That would be huge. And then if you can, go 2-1 against the Rangers as well, gosh darn it, you're the number 1 team in the AL West, and you're starting to create some separation, which would absolutely be huge. But with all that being said, we're going to wrap this one up. Shout out to everybody in here. Almost 200 people in here, despite it being 1 p.m. So everyone taking their lunch breaks or listening at work or doing whatever, shout out to all of you. Leave a like, comment, all that good stuff. And we will certainly be back here tomorrow. It'll be a regular time around 8 p.m. with that 5 p.m. first pitch in Houston. So we'll see you at 8 p.m. tonight or tomorrow night. Shout out to everybody in here. Leave a like, comment, all that good stuff. And let's start off that AL West series against the Astros and then the Rangers. Let's start off with a win. If I have to make my prediction, I don't actually know who the starters are yet for tomorrow's game. I guess it would be Kohanowitz. I don't know who they're going to start with. But you know what? Call me a homer after a game like this where the bats are so hot. I'm calling a win. Okay. I'm saying it's a win. I'm saying the Angels get to 9-4, and I'm saying it's time to start getting real excited about this team. But shout out to everybody in here. We're going to wrap this one up, and I'll see y'all tomorrow night. Go Halos. Have a great rest of your Thursday and celebrate this win, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.